In my father's time, down about the Ring of Kerry, there lived a carpenter with a cat called Bubbles. Well, me lair agus my cargin og, there was nothing Bubbles couldn't do. This is how you'd find the people from miles around, and they all gathered around the window looking in at the antics of your men. Jump, Bubbles, they'd say. And the Bubbles would jump like the best. Roll over, Bubbles, they'd say. And over Bubbles would go with his 4 legs cocked up in the air. Agus bulligan or the lish. Well, things rested so, and it wasn't long till a pruntig, it's a prince, a pruntig from a far-off land came with a saddlebag full of gold to take Bubbles away. Well, he arrived at the small house, and he was standing outside for a minute before he realized where he was, and he saw all the tins of cat food outside, and he knew well where he was. Well, it's chocolate anyway. And he went in and did his bit of bargaining with the farmer, and it wasn't long before he went away with a saddlebag full of bubbles instead of full of gold. So later that night he arrived home at his Cashlawn Moor, Bunnan Knick. Agus a chocolate there as well. Well, he went inside, he was thrilled with his new cat Bubbles. And we got lo and behold, and he left Bubbles out inside in the kitchen, a very big kitchen, I can tell you, in a castle. And he left Bubbles out, and he didn't know exactly what he'd give Bubbles to eat or drink. So he says to himself, shall I suppose a wee drop of petrol will do him no harm? Well, he got out a little sauceroon, and he put the sauceroon on the floor, and he slapped out a queer gallop of petrol onto the sauceroon for Bubbles. He said, a dorche a rish. Man Bubbles was very, very hungry and thirsty. Now he says, drink that now like a good cat. And get on the outside of that now, Bubbles. And Bubbles galloped of all the petrol from the sauceroon with a little bit of help from the Prundrig's boot. Well, the Prundrig went off to bed, and later that night, in the middle of the night to be exact, on Manihe, he was in bed, you see, with the Prundrig, yes, naturally. And he was awakened to the terrible noise of a terrible ree-raw agus rolia-bolia down in the kitchen. Well, he jumped out of the bed. And he ran out on the landing, and he ran down the stairs as if the devil and the 4 winds were after him, for all the world they might have been, you know. Then he galloped down, and he walked straight into the kitchen. And when he walked inside the kitchen, he looked, and what do you think he saw? Bubbles running around in circles on the ceiling. Well, he watched him there for about 10 minutes running around in circles and didn't know exactly how the hell he was going to get him down off the ceiling. Eventually, Bubbles came to a terrible sudden halt. And the law of gravity being what it is, he fell with a terrible thump to the floor. And he lay there on the floor on his back, with his 4 legs cocked up in the air, against Bulligan or the Lesherish. Then the Prundig was worried, and he went over and he got down on one knee. And he said, psh, psh, psh. And what else could you say to a cat? He said, Bubbles, Bubbles, can you hear me? When Bubbles lay on the floor, as dead as a dodo. He said, Bubbles, can you hear me, Bubbles? And Bubbles lay on the floor without a word. Gone fuckle erbe. And he says, Bubbles, Bubbles, answer me, Bubbles, Bubbles, hey, Bubbles, is it dead you are, Bubbles, he said, is it dead you are? And Bubbles opened one eye, and Bubbles said, Not at all, I'm not dead. I just run out of petrol.